welcome. My name is Penny Rosema, and you're listening to the Cookware Manufacturers Association podcast. One of CMA's goals is to keep our members informed. In this podcast, Joe Derochowski joins our conversation. Joe is NPD's Home Industry Advisor. He helps companies understand the trends of today and helps anticipate the future. Joe's been helping manufacturers and retailers identify opportunities for growth for the past 30 years, whether through new innovation, new ways to market, new ways to sell and merchandise their products. He covers it all. Now, you can find more about NPD at their website, npd.com, or you can also listen to Joe on homeworldbusiness.com. Their video section, they have a fantastic link called On Point, and Joe gives 2-minute about videos packed with valuable information. So check that out. We're just delighted to have him on our call this afternoon. Good afternoon, Joe. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks, Penny. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. We're going to start with a couple questions. Perhaps you could start by giving our listeners your perspective on housewares and how the year will end. You know, of course, we're most interested in the cookware, bakeware side of things, if you have any specific thoughts to those categories. But tell us what you're thinking.
Well, overall, I think it's going to be a fairly good year for housewares. Through November, we are up 1.4% through December 1st. And that's probably about where we're going to end the year. And that's good because we've had growth over the past 4 years of 5%, 2%, 2%. Flat. So it's been a strong trend over the years, and this should be another good year. And there still is more upside, because if I look at it in a broader context, like kitchen electrics, I anticipate this year being up 9%. So I think there's some ways that we can start to mirror that, and there's a lot of room to still grow. Cookware has been relatively flat, and I anticipate that to be for the year. Now, that's after 3 strong years of growth of 6%, 10%, 3%. So even flat is a nice place to be. I expect it to be a stronger year in 2019. Bakeware has been interesting. Bakeware is down 5.5%. But if I would have looked through November or through October and beginning of November, it was up almost 3%. It's just had a struggle over this past November, has really kind of brought the numbers down. But all in all, housewares has had a good year, and I think it's poised for another good year in 2019.
Well, that's great news. Let's talk a little bit about Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Any scoops on how that's gone, and has things changed? What's going on with those 2 big days in our calendar year?
Well, Penny, you are going to be the first person to know of this. This data is literally a couple hours old, so you are the first person to be made aware of this. Black Friday and Cyber Monday. For overall, before I get to how we did as an industry, overall Black Friday and Cyber Monday has really changed. I mean, if you think of Black Friday, it used to be this mad rush of people hitting the stores and this craziness, but it started so much earlier in Wednesday, and it started Thursday night. You saw a lot more traffic. That actually, when I did my store walks on Friday morning, it was pretty empty in the morning. Now, as the day progressed, it kind of turned into a Friday, a typical Friday. It got very, very busy, starting basically from 10 in the morning until the evening. It was very, very busy, but it kind of moved earlier. It wasn't that mad rush that we saw in the morning. Overall, Black Friday and Cyber Monday, as a total, the home industry, the area that I track, of all the industry NPD tracks, it actually was the fastest growing for the 3rd year in a row, much better than other industries. What we see though for overall housewares, it was down a little bit. It was down a single percent, and a large part of that is cookware and bakeware were down a tad. Now, what's interesting though is Cyber Monday was actually much stronger for cookware. Cookware actually grew a bit for it, but for Black Friday, it tends to be down in that period. So we saw a little bit of a change over those 2 holidays for the industry itself.
So a little shift on, you said for the cookware, it shifted to Cyber Mondays was a little stronger.
Yes.
Any
Monday.
thoughts on what, the cookware is heavier to carry, people rather have it shipped? Any insight behind why that shifted to a Monday?
I'm thinking that there's probably a little bit more promotions and a little bit more that people were kind of putting out there. It seems like a lot of the industries, while they worked on Black Friday, they're kind of poising themselves to also start to take advantage of what happens on Cyber Monday. So I think that was part of what we saw the difference here.
Good. Well, I want to remind our listeners that we're talking with NPD's Home Industry Advisor, Joe Derochowski, and you can find more information about NPD on their website, npd.com. Also, Joe has the homeworldbusiness.com videos that gives this kind of updates and information monthly. The videos are called On Point, and you'll find these 2-minute videos, I think, very valuable. Lots of information he provides there. These short, little, sweet updates. Now, you can find more information about Cookware Manufacturers Association also on the web. We're at cookware.org. And we have a wealth of information for retail buyers, for manufacturers. And of course, this is where you find the link for the cookware and bakeware engineering standards, as well as information about membership to the Cookware Manufacturers Association. So we'd love to have you visit either NPD or ourselves on the web anytime. Joe, we talked about the industry. You and I had some conversations prior to the call a little bit about missed opportunities. Any insights on what the missed opportunities are out there? What would you share with our listeners?
Well, I think a lot of times for our industry, as well as for retailers themselves, we struggle to market to these secondary moments that consumers have. And one of the main ones that I keep thinking about is the importance of Thanksgiving itself. We start to market towards the holiday season so early that we kind of drown out the needs of Thanksgiving. In fact, I always think of it, Thanksgiving were in any other month. Like if it was in May, we as an industry would be marketing more towards Thanksgiving than we would even Mother's Day. In part because there's so many changes in consumer behaviors that happens at this time, from cooking new and different foods to entertaining differently than we do the rest of the year. It's this change in behavior that creates urgency for the consumer to have them go out and buy and have them solve new needs. And as an industry, we just don't market to this moment as much, and we don't leverage it as much. As I mentioned before, I mean, bakeware was doing so great all the way up to the holidays, and somehow we got lost in November. That we've got to figure out, how can we win this secondary moment in the midst of this bigger moment that's happening with the holidays? And it's not just Thanksgiving. I mean, there's so many throughout the years, whether it's Cinco de Mayo at the same time of Mother's Day, whether it's Super Bowl Sunday, that's at the same time as what's happening during January, and people are trying to start new dieting and new health regimens. It's just a case of, how do we market to these secondary moments? And I think it's critical for us as manufacturers to remind ourselves, if the retailers are using promotions in store, that this is a great time that we have to make sure our consumer promotions are trying to reach the consumer directly to help drive traffic and solve those needs for these life moments.
Yeah, I liked how you call that a secondary moment. That's an interesting way. And what I heard you say was, people are trying new recipes, they have new needs. It's not just Thanksgiving. You mentioned Cinco de Mayo or Super Bowl Sunday, ways to communicate and remind the consumers that there's some great products out there. I think that's a very, very interesting insight there, Joe.
Thank you.
Any other tips of advice or innovative ideas or things that you're thinking about that you would love to share with our audience?
Well, one of the things I would like to challenge all of us in and remind us that we are in the greatest window of opportunity to impact consumers' lives that we've been in for the past 30 years. There has been such a desire to move for health and wellness and entertaining, because we're eating more at home and we're entertaining more at home. And many years ago, when I used to deal with a lot of the health professionals, it was always trying to say we needed to educate consumers on what to eat. And I always said, we know what we need to eat. We just don't know how to live it. And us as manufacturers and the Cookware Association, we have such a great opportunity to help make it easier for consumers to live a healthy life, make it easier to entertain more at home. We have a way that we can impact lives for many generations. And I just think we need to be innovative in our ways of not only in new products solving needs, but innovative in our new ways of marketing, whether it's to those secondary moments, whether it's to the first time of a new home or the first time getting married, all these key life moments that we can make a big impact. I just want us to remind ourselves of what a great time this is to be in our business, what a great time to impact many generations for many years to come.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Lots of opportunities out there that health and wellness and to cook at home and to have a choice of what ingredients and how you're cooking it and help them with consumer lifestyle and impact to their what they're focusing on, their health and wellness. You're right. Cookware, bakeware does have big opportunities there.
This is a great
Well, my
time
name is
for
Penny Rosema. Thank you. My name is Penny Rosema. We're recording for the Cookware Manufacturers Association. If you'd like more information about NPD, check out their website, npd.com. We'd like your feedback so that we can continue to inform. So give us some information. Was this interview valuable to you? Perhaps you have other questions or topics you'd like to suggest for future interviews. You can let us know. I'm at prosema@cookware.org. And if you'd like more information about the association, you'll also find us at cookware.org. If you're a cookware or bakeware manufacturer or supplier, we invite you to apply for membership. Companies that produce and distribute cookware in the U.S. or North America and who have a substantial financial presence in the U.S. are eligible for membership. And you can request a membership application by emailing me or click on the website and for more information. There's lots of links there. I also like to remind listeners that the CMA engineering standards are available free to our members, but of course available for sale to non-members as well on our Cookware site. All right, you'll find this podcast and other valuable information. Check us out, cookware.org. And Joe, thank you so much for your time and conversation this afternoon. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Look forward to talking to you some more.
Oh, great. And also, I'm glad you mentioned talking to us some more. Joe will be our guest speaker at the annual Cookware Manufacturers Association event in April. We're meeting in Austin, Texas. For members that have not signed up for registration, keep watch for it. We're going to have that registration link available early in January, and Joe will be our guest speaker there, and you can ask him a lot of in-depth questions personally. So, Joe, we're looking forward to seeing you in April.
Sounds good. Look forward to seeing you.
All right. Thank you for listening, everyone, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Happy holidays.